For generations, people have come here searching for something. Faith, healing, luck, or simply a way to make a living. While glass skyscrapers and pristine luxury developments rise across Manila, Quiapo remains unpolished and raw, where the distance between hope and hardship is only a few steps, and where life is lived in full view. Alright, quick break before we get into the meat of this video. We've been back now from the Philippines for a couple of weeks. I'm finally over some of that jet lag haze that hit me pretty hard this time around. But wanted to talk about Manila first before we get into it. Manila means a lot to me. My mom's from there, my dad's from there. I have a ton of family there, and it's where my culture is rooted. In a lot of ways, it feels like a second home. I didn't grow up with a lot of Filipinos in my area, so having that unfamiliar comfort of being surrounded by people that look like you, talk like you, and have the same culture, hits different every single time, especially depending on what phase of my life I'm in. In a lot of ways, it's also really alienating going out there just because as a Filipino American, you'll never really fully fit in, no matter how well you know the language or how tapped in you are with the culture. But for me, that's just an added challenge to reconnect deeper with my roots. What's most important to me on these trips is maxing out opportunities to spend time with my family and reconnect with them. It's not the easiest to fly out there, and we don't do it too often. Travel in general is such a privilege, and I don't ever want to take this time for granted. I did make sure to carve out at least a couple of days to focus on photography in between family time. This episode focuses on what a typical Sunday looks like in Manila's Quiapo neighborhood. Before we talk about Quiapo, let's talk about Manila. Manila's accumulated layers of history, starting with its indigenous roots and pre-colonial trade networks, through Spanish colonization and American occupation, and finally to its post-war rise as a megacity. Today, those layers exist side by side. On one end are ultra-modern, cosmopolitan districts with amenities that can rival and surpass those in the West. On the other are realities many Westerners associate with developing nations: sprawling informal settlements, entrenched corruption, and stark wealth inequality. It's a city that feels chaotic to an outsider's eye, especially because it was essentially rebuilt in fragments after World War II. Prior to the war, Manila was called the Pearl of the Orient, widely known as one of the most beautiful cities in Asia. By the 1920s and 30s, the city was beginning to be visually defined by grand neoclassical government buildings, tree-lined boulevards, Art Deco commercial districts, and elegant theaters and hotels. With its strategic positioning on Manila Bay, the city was a prominent global trade hub. It was an international city, comparable to Hong Kong and Shanghai at the time. Unfortunately, the Battle of Manila devastated the city, and it's never been able to fully recover. Remnants of Manila's old glory remain in Quiapo, and despite everything that has happened, faith, family, and resilience provide structure to Manila's chaos.
Anumang bahid ng sakit o sugat sa kanya. Nagtatatalo na naman siya na naman ay naglalaro. Salamat sa Diyos. What am I saying here? Na kung hindi natin dapat hayaan ang takot ang siyang magpatakbo ng ating buhay, ang dapat magpatakbo ng ating buhay ay ang pagmamahal.
Sa ngalan ng Ama at ng Anak at ng Espiritu Santo. Amen.
Quiapo is the spiritual and cultural heart of Old Manila. In a city that's constantly changing, life in this neighborhood still revolves around one place, Quiapo Church. At the center of it all is the Black Nazarene, a life-sized, dark wooden statue of Jesus Christ carrying the cross, believed by millions of devotees to be miraculous. For many Filipinos, the image represents suffering, resilience, and faith. Every January, the statue becomes the focus of one of the largest religious gatherings in the world. Millions flood the streets during the Feast of the Black Nazarene, forming a massive procession that slowly moves through Manila's crowded roads. Devotees push forward for the chance to touch the carriage carrying the statue, believing it can bring blessings and relief from hardship. But even outside of the annual event, Quiapo is constantly alive with devotion. On any given Sunday, the church fills with worshipers attending Mass. When the interior reaches capacity, the congregation spills into the plaza and surrounding sidewalks. Loudspeakers carry the sermon outside so people gathered in the streets can still take part. You'll even see scooter and tricycle drivers pull over in the middle of their day just to step out and say a quick prayer before continuing on. For some, devotion here is deeply personal. People suffering from illness or parents with their sick children come to the church hoping for healing and protection, or even a miracle. Around the church, the streets become an open-air religious marketplace. Vendors sell candles of different colors, each representing a different type of prayer. Sampaguita flower garlands are sold to be offered inside the church, and palm readers set up nearby as well, offering fortunes and spiritual advice. An interesting contrast between folk mysticism and traditional Catholic devotion. The Philippines is the largest Catholic nation in Asia and the third largest in the world. Introduced by Spanish colonizers in the 16th century, Catholicism remains deeply woven into Filipino culture. And in Quiapo, that faith isn't hidden inside church walls. It spills out into the streets and into everyday life.
Huwag kayong matakot.
As you get further away from Quiapo Church and into the surrounding blocks, the line between roads and walkways blur. Pedestrians and motorbikes share narrow streets, lined with stalls selling street food, fresh produce, and a myriad of other goods. It's the perfect sensory overload I hope for when I travel. Diving into the chaos, you have to shift gears and get used to shooting in tight spaces. Because Filipinos are such a welcoming people, taking photos in the streets are typically positive and conflict-free. Children are especially receptive to photographers. They automatically assume anyone with a camera lens is a vlogger and are eager to make their channel. Artistically, this is my first time back since fully committing to film over digital. It was also the first time my wife joined me on a photo sesh to help out with video duties. To self-critique myself, I didn't feel like I had full command of my camera after reviewing my images. I was shooting mainly at 1/125th of a second, which is pretty fast, but I think I was just so excited when I was out there, I wasn't taking my time to slow down and eliminate motion blur. And I'll be honest, my life right now only allows me to shoot the street in spurts, so I was moving a bit more frantic and rushed than I like. Overall though, I was pretty happy with my photos and got into a nice flow state while interacting with the city and the culture. What more could I ask for?